Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast. We're doing things a little bit differently. First of all, this is episode 38, I believe.
Oh, you got it
And
right. Good job.
let's go. So I'm joined by Uncommon Fossil, but this is more of a regular video. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, understand. Well, so we're making a tier list. Obviously, that's
Right.
better visually, but we're going to be saying all this stuff too. And really, it's just a tier list. It's not that big
Right.
of a deal to watch.
You
So
can imagine it in your head probably if you've seen one before, and you probably have.
yeah. And then we're
Or
taking a look at
or you can print out a blank sheet of paper and make it yourself to follow along at home.
exactly. Or you could actually, I'm gonna have the link to the tier list down below in the description, so you could actually make the tier list yourself. Um, but yeah. So we're doing the Vstar powers, but
Hmm.
by just the Vstar power. So not necessarily in context of the Pokemon. We haven't actually talked about this too much, so hopefully we're on the same page. But
No.
um,
Well, I
yeah. So
assume,
we
look, Arceus is considered a good Pokemon, but once you get just the V-Star power, it's going to become garbage, right? That's kind of what I
exactly.
figure, because its
That's
V-Star power is the worst ever, right? But
yeah. It's so bad. Yeah. No.
unless I'm off
It's
base there. Okay. Right.
Yeah, so Argus is pretty good. It might be the best one. Well, you'll
We'll
see. You
have to
never know.
see.
But
Right.
and we're assuming these are in a vacuum, not on the. Well, okay, we're not necessarily in a vacuum, but not on the Pokemon itself. So,
We're
for
not worried about the
example,
attack or the type, right? Or the HP.
yeah, so we're essentially going to assume that these are all on Steel Stone cards. So, for example, for Steel Stone gives a Pokemon V it's attached to. All the Steel Stones give the Pokemon V they're attached to that V Star power that they can now use.
Right.
It can be any type of Pokemon. So we're just seeing pretty much which ones would be good in that category. Obviously, this is a bit strange, but I think it'll be an interesting experiment and the best way to judge them. But yeah, so obviously this means that like Arceus is directly better than Force Steel Stone, but I have a feeling this
Yes.
Force Steel Stone won't be the worst either.
No. I mean, it's kind of right. It's kind of weird because Forest Steel Stone's partly good because it goes on any Pokemon. So that part kind of gets shifted away. But anyway, I think why don't we dive into it and we'll sort things out. It should be hopefully become clear as we go along. If not, we got a problem.
Yeah, and also we're in. I think we should. You always want to do this before we start, so let's do it. We got SAB, CDF as the tiers. So let's
Right.
talk about an idea of what we think they mean. First of all, for F, I think is like worse than a regular attack. Like you wouldn't want this,
It's just
even if
garbage.
it wasn't. Yeah, once per
You'd
game.
rather if it was erased from the card, it wouldn't hurt the card at all.
Yeah. D would be like it's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
They're very situationally useful. I think C's like it's fine. Like it's a nice addition, but like you probably wouldn't go out of your way to play it. It's probably not really worth running over most of the other ones.
Right.
B
It
is like pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
Were you gonna say something?
C is should probably be situationally relative, right? Like C is an average grade, but usually in tier makers, C is considered not that good, right? So I'm not sure how we want to handle that.
I mean it's below average. I'd say it's kind of like in normal. Like C is
B's average.
technically average, but somewhere between C and B is probably average in
Okay.
normal grading as well. You're not necessarily happy to get a C all the time.
No.
And then B is like is a little above average. It's like it's nice, has some good
Hmm.
element to it, some very good element to it, but it's not the best. A is very strong, either the
Yeah.
best at what it does or it does something very good.
Hmm.
And S is probably going to be um well, I think it's probably going to be Arceus in all honesty. It might not be. I need to look at them.
Well,
But it's going to be something, there probably one or two that are like the best of the best.
yeah, to me, that's what I would see. S is the best. So it's like one, two. That's about it for S, is what I say. So A could be almost as good as S, but S is, at least something distinguishing it above to be the very best.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So let's see. You want to go and read the first card here?
All right. So the first one is the Hisuian Lilligant V-Star we're starting with.
Yeah. Oh,
I,
and one thing I want to say as well, I 10 types know the cards. Bad. I know what they look like. Uncommon Fossil does not know very well, and we're looking at images that are kind of small.
yes, in Tier
So
Maker, they're
yeah,
small. So that helps with the podcast, right? I'm going to have to look at the card, well, visually, but I'll read them off anyway, so, which will be good. So, yeah. So I need a moment to think about it as I look after we read it. So Star Perfume, it's an ability, right? V-Star powers can be either an attack or ability. We're doing both. So probably abilities are going to skew higher than attacks, but I don't know. That'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see.
Mhm.
During your turn, you may search your deck for up to five in any combination of grass Pokemon and grass energy. Reveal them, put them into your hand, shuffle your deck after. So, and then shuffle your deck. So, that's underwhelming, I gotta say, is my first thought.
Yeah, I think it's so I have seen actually a really good Star C play in Masquerada. But obviously grass isn't particularly it's been said before, it's not good.
Right, grass isn't
This
great. And you have lots of ways to search Pokemon out, right?
Yeah,
So
I think
it gets
it's pretty
five, which
good,
is
like, in
good.
Cherim. I think this would be very good
Yeah.
because it gets you all this energy and some attackers and your engine, your stuff like that. Oh, your, like, acceleration, but I think it's very specific. I think it's, like, way too specific.
Yeah. I mean, I just did the Torterra deck, the single prize attacker, and didn't think about this card, and I'm still not putting it in. And I need a lot of evolutions in that deck, right? So, and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's not real good. So is it what, a D? It's a D or an F? I don't think it's above a D.
I don't think it's F. I think it's a D. I think it has some use cases.
Something could
What
use
it
it.
does, I think if this was on, like, water, it'd be very good, but it's not, so it's bad.
Okay. So now let me just point out though, you said we were going to ignore typing. So now
No, I
you
didn't
brought
say we're
type
ignoring
into
type.
it.
I said we're ignoring.
Oh,
Um,
maybe I said
no,
that.
I didn't say that.
Maybe I
Yeah.
did. Okay.
So yeah, we are not ignoring typing. We are looking at them as if they were just Sealstone cards.
Okay. So so D, and we obviously don't have to fully agree. We each are make our own tier maker, but you're putting it at D as well, I assume.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we're going to order each tier, right? Like we're not going to
No,
order
I
all the
know. I thought we were
Ds.
gonna make the. Well, this is like a podcast. We gotta stretch out the length, right? Gotta
Uh,
get that
I
that
think.
view
Well,
time.
we have a bunch of cards. I think we won't have a problem stretching it out, but we'll see.
That could be true. That could be true. Next up we got. I'll just read it. It's Palkia Vstar or
Yep.
Origin Form Palkia Vstar. Which has its ability here, Star Portal. Oh, I got an ad. So it says you get to, it's just an ability, you get to accelerate up to 3 water energy from your discard pile to your
Hmm.
water Pokemon in any way you'd like. Um, yeah, this is
This is
good.
good. This is
It's,
quite good. Um, and of course, the water is solid, so that helps for sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can play Palkia and deck sometimes just for the ability, even. Although the attack's still very good too, but sometimes it's almost mostly ability focused, I would
yeah, and now
say.
if you could use this on like a basic, um, which keep in mind that's kind of like what we're looking at here. It could be allow you to get very powerful turn one attacks, turn one Radiant Greninja,
Hmm.
turn one Suicune, um, turn one Chin Pao,
Yeah.
which are very good. They're not like the most. I mean, turn one Radiant Greninja is pretty good.
Yeah.
It kind of allows you to do Excalibur, but that first turn we can't use Excalibur because it's evolution. Now you got that covered, and I think this would be
What is it?
A.
It's either A or B, right? It's not S. I'm
Well,
pretty
I don't know.
sure.
I think it's close because it allows you to like donk. Like if your opponent starts like 2 Ralts, you can just win.
All right. Well, I'll put it at A. I think
I
it
think
could
it's A.
be. I mean, part of it is we need to be. There's a to me a willingness to shift things as we go on too, right? Because if we find
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
there's a bunch of cards better than Palkia, we might just drop it, right?
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
if ultimately there's nothing better than it than say Arceus, maybe it becomes tier S. I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
think it's a bit of a high roll one, but allows is potentially insane.
yeah, yeah. It's
Uh,
cool. Look, it's clearly a lot better than Hisui and Lilligant.
yeah.
So
Okay. Next up, we got Hisuian Typhlosion V-Star, which I'll read out as well for
okay.
one Psychic. If your opponent's active has exactly 4 damage cards on them, they're instantly KO'd. It's an attack, obviously, but it's very
Yeah,
strong.
it's
If we were
strong,
in
but
an
it's.
Inteleon meta, I think this would be insane, but we're not.
You mean the
Um,
old Inteleon, the single prize,
yeah, which
where you can
is
ping and put
still
two
in the
damage
current in the
counters on
format.
every
Yeah.
turn,
Mhm.
and scoop up net and all those things which we don't have now.
Yeah. Well, you do have the Inteleon, but also you do have the new Starmie, which allows you to ping too. Um,
Yeah,
I think this is okay. I think it's you could like put this in a spread deck as well, right? You have some spread deck, but spread decks often
yeah.
have a very big issue, especially if you're only doing like 40. They have a big issue in one shotting. I think
Hmm.
this is all right.
Now,
Um,
let me ask you this. We didn't discuss this before, but so Shimmering Star, it's for one psychic, so it's still for one psychic energy, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So if you're
Hmm.
not playing a psychic attacking deck, putting it in is a little trickier because you need
Yeah,
psychic
that's
energy.
true.
So
But I think it's not. I think a lot of spread decks are psychic. Um, I'm trying
yeah,
to think. So like obviously there's Lost Zone. But we're gonna talk about Giratina later. Um, well,
Y-
this is like
so it's
you
B or
probably
C,
wouldn't play it,
right?
huh?
It's either B or C. I'm pretty
I think
sure.
it's yeah. I think it's
It's not an A. It's not that good. It's not as bad as a D.
no, no. I
So
think it's I think C for now. As you were saying,
yeah,
like attacks are worse than abilities. Um,
Y-
it's only in certain decks. I think it's C is fine.
okay, yeah. I imagine most of the time you're not going to want this one in your deck. I would think.
No.
So,
Okay, you want to read the next one?
oh, the next
Do you know
one.
what it is?
No, oh, there it is.
It's the
It's
world champion.
Hisui and Decidueye. See, I partly know, but I recognized the image when I went to Limitless. It's not one I see a
Yeah.
lot. It was in the World Championship deck, but it wasn't really around before that, and it dropped out of it pretty quickly too, right? It was that.
Yeah, pretty much was cut after that set.
So Star of Fortune, and we'll obviously ignore the attack here. So Star of Fortune. During your turn, you may draw until you have 8 cards in hand. So one,
As an ability as well.
it's an ability, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one more than like a research get you. You draw until, which
Yeah. Oh, I
obviously,
have a question. So, are we counting these as? Are we like docking a card if it's say worse than another one, or are we just not doing that?
uh, I
I
mean,
think we shouldn't. I think we shouldn't because then Force Seal Stone would be F.
yeah.
Because you literally never use it.
I think we don't fully dock it for that, but at some point you can't ignore the fact that it's half as good as this other card either.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's a
I
little
don't think I don't know. Yeah, I think I mean this isn't directly worse than anything else, but there are a few like draw search ones.
okay. Well,
Um,
we'll see. We'll kind of keep that as a. It's a good question. I think generally no, but we'll.
yeah.
So draw till 8 is good. Eight's obviously a lot. 8 is what you get with What do you get 8 with?
Cynthia's ambition.
Is that the only one? Bruno gets you 7,
Um,
is it?
yeah, Bruno gets you 7. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of any card that
Uh,
does 8 off the top of
I
my
mean,
head. I
research
think
does
there's
7, so
Professor's Birches
seven's what you
off.
normally hit. So 8 is one more than most things.
Uh, uh, no, never mind. Yeah. So I think it's pretty good. Uh, it's a good. It's obviously versatile. Um, it doesn't necessarily get you exactly what you want, but it's
No.
pretty good. It gets a like a you don't lose stuff as well, which is nice. I think it's
Right. Because with rare candy decks now, which are becoming big with EXs, stage twos, and I think it's going to grow over time, which I kind of like, you don't want to ever discard those rare candies. So, or you got to be very careful. So, discarding research is worse now than it was before. So, drawing
yeah,
on
and you
top of
need
is
this
good.
big hand as well. So this one 8 cards is a very sizable hand.
It's still not
Um,
great though. So we're still in the BC range, I'm thinking.
I think it's BC.
I don't think it's better
I
than a
think it's
B.
definitely better than Hisuian Typhlosion. I think
No, it
it's
is. It is.
so
So
I'd
it's.
say it's B. I'd say it's B. I think it's pushing A. I think it's
I will put it in
I don't
B.
feel bad putting in B though. I
Okay.
think it's
Again, we're early days, so let's see what else we get in here to fill things out. So,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, the sequence of these four is clearly, I think, correct. So
Yeah.
at this point, all right. Why don't you hit the next
Next.
one?
Okay. Do you know this one? Do you recognize it? It's
No, I'm trying to
the
remember.
it's
So,
Darkrai. It's
oh,
Darkrai.
Darkrai. Okay.
Darkrai Vstar. I thought you knew this one.
I
So
did. I
anyway,
played it some, but it kind of looks like Mawile, doesn't it? Or am I maybe I'm just
I
completely wrong?
guess it's kind of looks like Mawile. Not really.
One of the things I will
So
say about this is since I play online, basically I play live now, PTO before, I don't really worry about what the cards look, nor what the attack names are. You just kind of know what they are, and you kind of don't. You're not. I know these things better. I think if I was handling them more. But go on.
yeah. Oh, and also all of them, they pretty much all look the same. The graphic style is the same, and they have
Yes.
some like swirly stuff around them, but that's about it. So it is kind of hard to differentiate them, especially if you don't know what they look like.
Yeah.
And there's is it small. Yeah, Darkrai, a very actually good one in my opinion. Star Abyss during your turn, you may put up to 2 item cards from your discard
Yep.
into your hand. Um, which I think is good. Obviously, it's originally intended to pair with dark types, so you can get back dark patch. But
Mm-hmm.
um,
Right.
I
I've been
think
working on an
this should be
Arbok
pretty
deck, and
solid.
this could go in that. So, but all right. So it is good. It's good. How good? Wow. It's probably better than Hisuian.
Decidueye.
This? I think so. Right.
Yeah, I think this is A. I think it's this is honestly one of my favorite
Mm.
Vstar powers in the game. It's kind of like Arceus, but from the discard. But obviously, you don't get anything. You get items, which is much more limited. And we're also going to talk about
Right.
Draco later, which is
Probably a lot better. Well, for that deck,
well,
it's
it's
better.
different.
I know.
It's
Yeah, yeah. We'll save that. It's better
they're
for the
very different, or they're
Regidrago
not very
attack,
different.
but um,
Yeah, I think this is A below
I could
Palkia.
maybe. I think it might drop to a B.
Yeah, it might get
It's
dropped,
not as good
but
as
we'll see.
Palkia, so it's positionally right, at least
Yeah,
between the
I mean
Pokemon.
it's much you could put this in almost any deck as well, and you'll be very happy with it. Like Palkia obviously is very limited in the decks you can play it in, but when it goes, it's insane.
Right,
Like in
and
water,
you can
it's
use multiple tools per turn. I mean, items per turn, so that's good. You know, two supporters in one sense could be worse because you can play them both immediately. So,
yeah.
all right. So I think we're good
Uh,
with that. All right, so we're
so
up to Hisuian Samurott V-Star, correct?
yep.
Ha ha. I looked it up, but never mind.
Yeah.
So we have dark. Well, that doesn't matter. So Moon Cleave Star. It's an ability. During a turn, you may put 4 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. We have a
Y-
lot of things that put 2 damage counters on, and I think in 3 too, right? The grass one that does 3. There's something that does 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is
Yaskrada does 3.
again, but this is your ability V Star power once per game. Can't do it again. So um,
I think this is only okay. I think it's not bad.
yeah,
But it's not like super good either. I think it's like so you look at the choice belt that sees play,
yeah. Hmm.
but it doesn't see tons of play because there aren't as many V's anymore. Like probably only half the decks are like V-based decks, probably
Right.
actually less. Vengeful Punch and Box of Disaster both see play, but they are like in return. So when you're
Yeah.
hit or when you're knocked out, you take damage, which is fair, but
So you're trying to make the
um,
case of why it's good here.
yeah, I think it's good.
I mean, the
I
problem.
think it's B,
Oh
like below a
wow.
student Decidueye
What?
V-Star.
B. The problem is there's much better ways to put damage in the game. This goes
Well,
to the
but you were just
active. Other
saying
things go
they
to the
weren't
bench.
good with Hisuian Typhlosion. So,
Which well,
like,
that knocks you out if you have 4 damage counters, right? Is that what it does?
yeah.
This one,
You
but
just
you
said those
have.
other ways weren't good enough.
Well, but I
It's like
have
2
but this is your V Star power for the game. Wouldn't I rather just use Intelli on VMAX and I'm putting two and two on the bench and stuff.
But
This go.
picture this: you're playing some like whatever deck, and
Yeah,
then your opponent plays a Ralts with 60 HP, obviously,
yeah,
so, or like some Pokemon with 60 HP. Okay, now you use this. Play down a Medicham V, attach
yeah.
the Steel Stone card.
To my
Boom! You
Metacham.
just get a free turn. You just like get a free turn in prize. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I'm playing Metacham V, then I would play this. So wait. So these are Seal Stone cards. So they're gonna go on V's, correct?
yeah.
By the way, okay. So where are you putting this on the tier list?
B below Hisuian Decidueye, I
I
think.
guess. I mean,
I
that's
mean, I
probably
think it's definitely better than Hisuian Typhlosion. I think we got a
yeah.
bit of a big gap here, but I think it's all
It
right
might
for
be
now.
a tier C, but okay, I'll put it there in solidarity with you. I'm not
Okay,
convinced about it. So
okay. And then next up, you should know this one, right?
this
Right.
we have Dialga here, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Origin form Dale
Origin,
Vista.
you're right. So I try to remember because it's alphabetical by the list, so it's under O's. When this one's an attack, is this our first attack?
This is our
No, the other
second
attack was a
attack.
knockout. This attack is right. Star Chronos. It's for 5 energy. That's the part that you can't skip over. But 4 metal, 1 colorless, 220 damage. All right, but then take another turn after this one, right? So you skip Pokemon checkup. So if you're poisoned or burned, don't worry about it. Even better. People skip that aspect of the card, but
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what makes it good, right? Now, but look,
I feel
back
like
to
that's
back
bad. I feel like that's not a good
skipping
thing.
checkup.
Yeah, I feel like you'd rather not skip checkup.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter 90% plus percent of the time, but
Yeah, I've never seen it matter.
So no, if poison
I
was
think this is, huh?
if poison were a bigger thing, right? Then it starts to matter.
Yeah, but
That's
anyway, I think this card's not. This isn't good. I think this is
it's
bad.
not good. Back
I
to
think you
back
and yeah, I think
attacks, back to
you're gonna
back
say it's really
turns.
good. Yeah, but it's 5 metal. Or it's
No, I
4 metal and
know.
1 energy.
No, I
It
know.
only
That's the
has to like the only attack you want to pair this with is Dialga's. Um,
that's the thing. Like, what do you put it with? Like, because obviously Dialga, it's regular attack, which is what we're sticking. You're gonna put this Vstar, the Steel Stone, back on Dialga because I don't know where else you want it. But well, I don't know.
actually I was thinking you could like because Lost Zone, you have like Lost Zone
Yeah,
Goodra, which has like metal Pokemon and metal energy,
yeah.
but even then you need to like play like 3 Mirage Gates.
Right, three
So
or four because you're only Mirage Gate only gets one medal. If Mirage Gate could get two of
yeah,
the
so
medal,
it's not like
I mean,
great.
it's
It's
yeah.
bad. It's definitely bad.
You're
Um,
causing me pain here. I think you're
I know, I
right
know. I think
because I
it's
like
yeah,
Dialga, but it's and Dialga, of course, is sketchy, but it's fun back to back turns. You just sung the praises of Metachan, which is all good because back to back attacks. Here's the
well, it's
same
like
thing.
1 energy, it's like 1 energy. And it's not even broken. It's good. But
So
I think this is F.
F. Well,
I mean,
wait,
it's like I think it's a substantial step down from Hisuian Lilligant,
and which does
which
what
is
again? Because I forget
search
that one.
5 grass energy and grass
Worse than
Pokemon. Like,
that, I
yeah, because
guess.
this doesn't like you're never gonna ever
Yeah, I
use
think I
this.
would never use. I know I wouldn't use this card. And as a budget player, if someone asked me, should I craft this Sky Seal, the Seal Stone, the Dialga Seal Stone, I'd have to say no, probably. Wouldn't even
Yeah.
do it with you. No, I think you're right. It's not good. That's weird though, because Dialga's is a good Pokemon, right?
And it's good because it was Vista power as well.
I know. So it's
But I
kind of like,
think
how
in
do you say it's bad when it's a good on a good card? And half of why the card's good is because of this V-Star power.
yeah, it's kind of strange, but I think it's right. I
All
think what
right, I'll
um
it's weird, but maybe you're right. All right, it's an F. I apologize, Dalga. You still have a place in my heart, though.
yeah, another card you like here is Shaman
Yes.
V-Star. Although I don't think its V-Star power is very good. Star Bloom, it's an ability. Once during a turn, you may heal 120 from each of your benched grass Pokemon. Honestly, I thought it also healed your active. I forgot about
That's
that.
a right. That's a big
Um,
downer for it,
I
actually.
mean, yeah, I think it's just not like good.
Well, it's now Shaman. I don't think Shaman V Star is all that good, but this ability
Well, I
on
think
a
its attack's good.
yeah. But I think you're
You
going to
played it.
play it in some grass decks anyway,
But
right?
I'm trying to think, like,
Let me
there is
think.
Celebi. It's okay in Celebi,
Mm-hmm.
um, which isn't particularly good anyway.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Like, I mean, you like have to play in grass decks, and
Right. A grass decks with at
120
least one
isn't
V.
necessarily getting you out of that like 2-shot range.
No,
Um, it can be useful from time to time, but I think it's
I
like
guess
these are
not.
these like game-changing things, and it's not.
It doesn't heal all of like one or two. It heals part. I mean, this is where I'm thinking I'd play it if I played it, as I had my Torterra deck, which I just did, and if I'm getting hit like with Greninjas and Lost Zone shenanigans, right, with damage spreading around, I heal up my bench, and I might like that.
Yeah, it can stop Lost Zone from getting too tricky, but
But that's
like
even if that was the case, and I still might not play it as an option. That's very niche. So Shaman. So
I think
so
this is F. As
this
I
is
think it's
F.
below Dialga.
All right, because at least Dialga, I can stick back on the Dialga V
Yeah, like
Star.
Dialga's like strong. Like Shaman, you wouldn't put this with the Shaman.
No, the Shaman card, right? The attack, the good part of the Shaman is the attack usually.
Yeah, which honestly isn't too bad. I think it's good. The Shaman V Scene play, which is in the
Yes,
V Star just a strong version of that.
right.
Next up, I'll go with is
Whimsicott,
Whimsicott.
yep.
So that one was it's what is this one? This one's like these all blend together in my mind. Fluffball
Oh, is
Star.
this on the next page here? Wait, what happened?
No. Oh wait, I don't know. I only have one page.
Oh wait, I
It's near the
reset
bed.
the arts. I know something's
Oh,
goofed up
okay,
on me.
whatever. So Whimsicott
Okay.
V-Star, Fluffball Star. It's for one psychic, but you want more than one psychic. There's 60 to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to this Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
It does not need to be psychic energy, which I honestly didn't realize. Oh no, I did realize that because you can play double turbo by that reduced damage. But then yeah, it does a snipe for each energy attached to it. It can be to the active as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so 60 per energy attached. It needs at least one psychic. Um, this is actually pretty good. It's actually very good, and it's good in Gardevoir, right?
Let me look at it again. So the 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached. Yeah, yes, obviously it's good in Gardevoir. Gardevoir would be very nice.
Yeah, it's
Well,
okay
I
in
don't know if
Lost
it
Zone.
does because the problem with that is you have Zacian in there. Is it better than Zacian V? Because it's got to be on a V Pokemon.
Well, it snipes, so
That's true.
I mean it's different. You play them both. You like play
Yeah,
them
so it
together.
hits the bench too.
Um,
Okay, so
and
um,
it's not you don't need that much energy either because it's like Zacian you need like 10 or something. Not 10, but like 7
right. Well,
to
it
like one
depends
shot
what
stuff.
level you need to
And
get to, right?
yeah, and
Obviously.
Whimsicott you don't. You need like 5 or 6 to one shot everything.
Okay.
Literally. So but then also it's a snipe. I think it's okay. I don't think it's that good though. I think you could play it in Lost Zone, but I don't know if you'd love to play it in Lost Zone because Lost Zone likes Forest Steel Stone.
hmm
And you have things like that.
I think in Lost Zone Box you might put a copy in, right? Because if you don't need
You
to use your
could.
Forest Seal Stone, you have the Psychic
I mean, I
Energy.
suppose now you have like double Forest Steel Stone as well. Like there's some that are very good. But because like realistically, like most decks are probably going to put something like Arceus's or something similar.
hmm
Um, but
So,
yeah, I think this is okay. I think this is probably top of B,
yeah,
if
I
I'm not
think it is
thinking.
too, which is interesting because there's a card that's not all that good.
No, it's not, but it slots. It would slot nicely into. I mean, Psychic's very good right now, so I think it's good.
Right. Because part of Whimsicott V starts at 250 HP. That's not that good.
Yeah,
And its attack is a counter card.
it's
It's not really
yeah,
a great attack in and of itself. So,
yeah, and it's kind of awkward to set up, but I think it's cool.
okay.
Next up,
I'm
you can
dragging
say
it.
the next
I'm
one.
dragging it to S before we start the
Oh,
discussion.
wow,
So,
wow,
which
yeah.
means we're talking about Arceus, Vstar, and so wow, this whole display got
Which lets
goofed
you
up.
search for two
Search for any two cards in
cards.
your deck, which is of course very good. Um, Much better, twice as good as the Forest Seal Stone, but I'm not supposed to say that. I apologize. Starworth, what's called. It's an ability. Any two cards, really just tremendous. I mean, there's decks that play Arceus just for the V Star power that don't even want it in the game after. Besides that, right?
Yeah. And they can still attack with it. Like, well, Chin Pao can. Yeah, it's when Chin Pao and Charizard, right?
Yeah, and I mean it's
They both
colorless,
can.
so any deck can attack with it.
Yeah. Charizard definitely
Oops.
does attack with it. Chin Pao usually will not attack with it.
Yeah.
I think this is like, yeah. I mean, it's super good. It's
Yes.
insane.
It is the top of the set, right?
Yeah, I think so. Um,
I mean, it is
yeah, I
for
was
now
like,
anyway. It's better than
I was thinking about it
Palkia.
some before, but I think it is the best. It's clear S tier at least.
Yeah, I mean any two cards. I mean any like V deck that doesn't have a V Star power it wants to use plays Forest Seal Stone, which and that's just one card, and that's just super good, right? Any like V Max decks play Sky Steel, Forest Seal Stone essentially,
Yeah,
unless there's something else they have some compelling reason.
and it
So
helps them as well. Like Mew VMAX when it got Force Seal Stone was like super happy because now it can
right,
it can get out of path situations because now all these abilities previously like you can't use Arceus under path. Well, now you can. So
right, and this is twice
um
as good as that. So it's just tremendous. It's good. You're going to have a real good reason not to play this.
yeah. Um, Next up, another one. Do you want to introduce
Yeah.
the next one? Do you
So
know what it is?
yeah, this is Leafy on VMAX.
Yeah,
I mean V Star. I apologize.
oh yeah.
Which was one of the
I want
first
to make sure I
two.
didn't accidentally add in any of the VMAX instead of the V-Stars because some of them have both, and I almost did. Looks like I didn't. Okay,
Okay, so
good.
this is one of the first, and a good ability for sure. IV Star. During your turn, you may switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So it is a free boss without using your supporter for turns. So that's good, obviously. I mean, the downside in this is other abilities that are better, but it's certainly a good ability. Period.
Yeah, where I have an idea of where I think I might put this, and I think it's going to be a bit different than what you think. So I want to hear what you think.
See, I'm trying to remember what all these things do. It's
I mean,
good.
just like what do you
It's like
like?
a tier A, probably.
Yeah, I think I might say it's almost S. I think it's. I mean,
Uh,
I don't know. It's worse than Arceus, but there are
yeah,
definitely times when you want this over Arceus as well because it doesn't burn your supporter. Uh,
Palkia, and then it does 3 energy. This is better than that. The next is what,
yeah,
Darkrai? No, what's
yeah, and
the and what's that one do again?
it's
That's
recover
two
the 2
items.
items. Yeah,
That's
which
better
might
than
which
that.
then might get bumped down.
So it's either top of A or second in S. I don't think I want more than two in S probably, but you want to put it in
No,
S?
I think it's yeah, I think because there
I
are
think it's
times when
clearly
you'd
better
wanna
than Palkia's ability. I think yeah, Arceus is probably what it's closest to. So
actually,
you want to
yeah,
move it to
I
A?
think, um, let's put it in S, and then we could drop it down. I think it's
Okay.
fine. I think it's very good.
The funny
There's one
thing
actually
is,
quite
it's really
similar.
good, but it doesn't get a lot of respect or doesn't get played, and even you don't play it really for the ability. So it's
Um,
super good, but because Arceus just overshadows it, right? I'm not sure. And
Arceus, Force Steel Stone,
of course, Grass isn't very good. So
yeah,
that's a
Grass
thing.
Isn't it's not like a good card, um, but I think it's a very good ability. I think its ability is the best part. Well, you and I both played this,
Yeah,
and its ability is very good.
it is.
Because it allows you to play a supporter and guest at the same time and pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is you could Arceus for cross switcher, but you don't really want to do that because that's like extra space here. It's filling up in your deck, and it's
Right.
kind of
I
weird.
don't think. Yeah, I don't. So
Um, Next up we got a Charizard Vstar. Okay.
yep,
This one's a card. It does. I
it's
lost
a
it.
card.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
card that
particularly big.
that collectors want. That's what matters, right?
Yeah. So it does 320 for 4, and then you just for fire
Yeah.
colorless, and then you just go 2. It's not like good.
No.
I think it would replace the Fire Charizard EX and the Charizard deck, but I think this one's probably is it F?
I think. Look, I think if
Is it
you
D?
put Dialga in
And
there
F.
in F, and this is, I think Dialga's better than this. It's one more.
That
It's
could be,
only
yeah,
one more
that's
energy, but you
probably.
attack twice, back to back turns. I'd rather have that
They're
as an option.
different. Yeah, they're well. I feel like you can't really ever power Dialga up
Yeah.
though.
Well, see, that's just.
Charizard has Charizard EX,
Well, that's
so
just so how much.
um,
Yeah. So how much do we take that into account? Because of Charizard EX, you could do this.
well, I feel like you can actually use it. Like you can't really actually use Dialga. Or you could, but not easily. I think this is.
Is it
I'd probably put it
D?
bottom of D.
Okay, bottom of D.
Um,
Okay, I think that's fair.
it's not good. Next
No.
up, do you know the
I
next one?
Yeah. No, I haven't looked at it yet. Let me see here.
Okay, I got
No, I
it.
don't remember what this one is.
This is Semi-Seer V-Star.
Ah,
This one's fun with Ember Star. This deck does 30 for each energy, and you just compile for 1 fire.
hmm.
So, this can be pretty strong,
Yeah.
but in order to one shot, it's hard. Um, I think this is pretty. I'd say this is probably C
Well, I wonder if it
because
could be.
fire type's a little awkward. It's kind of like I think it fulfills a similar role to Radiant Charizard. Like a very similar role. It's 1
Well,
fire and you do big damage. And you're at the end of the game
but
and that
you can also use it like if you play Charizard EX and you play, say, an Entei in it, which isn't a terrible thing to do, I don't think. I like Entei anyway. So, but you put this in too, and you power it up with just 1 energy. You could also do a smaller attack early in the game. Use
but I
up.
don't think yeah, that's true. But like
It gives you some
very early.
flexibility.
Because it's not hard to power up Entei in a
No,
Charizard deck.
I understand, but now I just need one attachment, and that might be what I need that turn.
I mean I think it's usable, but like I don't think it's a good like you're probably not hitting very much at all. You're probably hitting like
No, I'm taking
90
out like the
for 1.
comfy or something.
But I don't think being able to take out Comfy is like
Well,
I think
yeah.
I get the idea and I don't hate it.
Or are there fire
Um
decks that want a lot of energy, right? Because it wants to be in a deck with lots of energy, right? So that the discard
yeah.
pile gets a lot of energy, and there's not a lot like that around.
Yeah. I think
All
it's
right.
okay. I think C's
See.
where it belongs. I think
Yeah.
it's would you put it above or below a Searing Typhlosion?
And that does what again? Knocks them
Insta
out?
kill with 4 damage. Yeah.
That's a good. I'd maybe put it above it. It's obviously
Ye-
they're both situational.
Yeah. So I think that's fair.
Put it above it.
Hmm.
You don't.
In
Okay.
C though. I think it's not like a super good one, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Uh, Next up we got one of your
Yeah,
favorites.
one of my
Actually,
boys. It's
play this?
Rotom
I play
Vstar.
the V.
What's that? You've done the
You
V?
play the V a lot. I don't know if you played the V Star much at
I have done
all.
the Vstar a little bit, but not a
Okay.
lot. Um, Obviously, I use this as an attacker, and the attack doesn't matter for this. So we have the ability Conversion Star. During a turn, you may use this ability, discard any number of cards from your hand, then draw that many cards into your hand. So it's pretty nice.
Well, okay,
Potentially,
so
it's
there are
nice.
two ideas. One, you need to have some benefit from discarding, right?
Yeah.
And you
Well,
also need some
ideally,
benefit, huh?
you could just do it as a draw card too.
Yeah,
Draw
but it's
ability.
not great as a draw card. And then you need some benefit, like some reason to not want to discard everything, because you're probably only drawing a few cards with this. Um,
Well, in a deck
maybe
like Rotom, it
four,
works where you get where you want cards in the discard pile, right? It's that
but
type
it's
of
not
deck.
even like broken in that deck, because you like might just use Force Seal Stone, right? You're playing
You
Force Seal
might,
Stone. Um,
yes, you have the
and
option
you,
depending what you need in it, but you might use this
yeah,
ability too. It's not like you don't. Um,
yeah, but it's like made for that, and it's not even
r-
that good there.
right, most cards don't have an attack that wants things in the discard pile. I'm trying to think what else might it go into that it might make better, and I'm having a hard time.
Cast form.
Well, then it's S tier if it helps cast form.
Yeah. No, I think this is
But yeah, no, it's not very good.
I'd say it's honestly I'd say it's bottom of C maybe.
Yeah, it's not.
Like it's
Yeah,
okay. It's a general draw. It's not like it can't be that bad, but
right.
it's really a step below a lot of the other general draw ones.
I mean, what it kind of is, it's like it's different, but it's kind of like a better draw than the barrel on your turn because you're discarding
Um,
and then drawing in. They're very different, but you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's like Caitlyn. It's like Caitlyn, the supporter that always gets made fun of.
Yeah, low tier C. Yeah, and because there's things that are just better in the game, as well as a lot of trainers are better than this. That's part of where it loses out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we got Zero or V-Star. This one is specific. It's Lightning Storm Start for four energy, three lightning. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon four
Oh yeah.
times. Um, so you can like double up. It's a bit of a strange ruling. But each
Hmm.
time, so you do 60 damage to your opponent's Pokemon four times. So you can
Right.
do like 120 and 120. You can do 60 to four different ones, 180 and 120, or however. Or sorry,
Every
180 and 60.
yes,
Um,
any
and you can
combination thereof.
yeah, which is all right. It's not bad, but it's not like it's not a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of energy. So I'd say this is probably F or maybe D. It might be D.
Well,
Actually, D. It's used. Actually, it's pretty all right
it's
in
used
in
some.
Rhydon. It's not used, but
Right.
it's not really
So
used. But it could be used in
I've seen it
Rhydon anyway.
occasionally, right? I've run into it occasionally.
Oh yeah, I've ran into all these though. I think
Um, yeah, I'm just trying to think because obviously, like if you could put it on your Maridon EX, that would be very nice, but we can't do that.
we can put
S-
on Raikou or Raichu, and that's
Or Regieleki.
fair. Yeah, Regieleki, which isn't seeing too much play. I think Raikou and Raichu are seeing more play, but
Yeah, I've
um,
seen some Regielekis. I've seen Regieleki. I've been seeing a lot of Regielekis with Flappies lately, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But
well, I think Flaffy's good. But anyway, so
no, but they
because
don't
Flaffy's,
have enough flap. They only bench like one Flaffy, which isn't good. But anyway,
I guess. Anyway, so I think
um,
Zero Hour here is D. I think it's actually maybe it's top of D.
yeah, it could be C because I think you could put it in the Lightning deck, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like Charizard though, where it's like attack in one deck and it's a little better. But you want to say bottom of C?
See, in
I can
some
see
sense,
that.
because it's next to Rotom, if we put it either of those, I think this might be better than Rotom.
Yeah, that could
Do you
be.
think?
Okay,
But
we could
maybe
put it just
Rotom.
above Rotom.
I mean, maybe Rotom's
No,
too
Rotom's
high.
much more general though. Rotom's much more. Well, you can put Rotom in any deck, and you're not like sad to have it.
All right, then I'd say
Um,
top of D maybe, if you want.
yeah, okay,
Or
that's fair.
but
Next up we got Zacian
Zacian,
V-Star.
which I'm trying to remember what that one does.
That one is big damage. It's 310 and 30 to itself from Metal colorless.
Star Sword is. I mean, Sword
Yes,
Star. Sorry.
Sword Star. So I think this is all right. It hits a good chunk of damage. Notably, two colors means it's more payable. You can put this in like Lost Zone style decks.
Well,
Um,
but you still need two metal. That's
yeah,
not
no, it's still
good.
not like great. I'd say it's probably the top of D.
Uh, All right. See, it's not too much better than Dialga's V-Star attack because it's only
Well,
one
it's
less energy. I know the two colorless. Instead, it's only two metal,
it's
but
half as much metal, which is like, I mean,
but
you can't ever use Dialga in any deck that's not like a pure metal deck.
no,
Um,
I
but
get
you
it.
can use that in Zacian. Like you can, what you're
Maybe,
looking at with these big attackers that are kind of awkward is Lawson, right? That's really what you're looking at.
I
Um,
guess. I mean, I'm not sure that's gonna work, but
well, no, I don't think. Well, I mean, I'm
actually,
arguing
what
for
I
it to
think
be in
what
D tier.
yeah, I actually if it was as a tool, I could consider I could
Okay.
attach this to Entei in my Charizard deck. I can power it up with a Raihan and a Charizard EX in one turn.
Wait, no, but you rather use
Uh,
Charizards than
well,
Zombies. Wait, what?
don't,
Wait, why are you putting Metal Energy in your Charizard deck? I've gotten
for this
lost.
attack. All right, I'm
But
just saying that's like the
it does
I'm
less damage than the Charizard attack.
all right, and less HP. So I'm just saying I'm trying to come up with a use of it. Okay, so you want
Yeah,
it in
I think it's
tier D tier
yeah, I think it's I'd put it below zero or I'd say
below zero aura, which is okay. So
above Hisuian
second
and
one
Mulligan.
in the D. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I wonder if our tier lists are the same right now, or if we've like done stuff.
I'm not sure. It
Um,
doesn't. It's fine.
okay.
All right. So
Next
now,
up, we got Zamazenta. I want to bring this one up. With its ability Shield Star.
yeah,
Once during your turn, you use this. During your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 100 less from attacks. This is after weakness and resistance. And it also says it includes Pokemon that come into play this turn or during your opponent's next turn if they did like Echoing Horn.
right.
But
Or
it's
rope
pretty
you
much
up or anything. Like with Gudra, you lose the
yeah.
effect. Here it stays. Period.
And this also protects your bench as well. So it's a big like shield across all your Pokemon.
Right.
I think this one's pretty good. I think this one's like I like this one, but yeah, I've talked about this one how I like this one in the past.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, this could go in some decks. I think. Right. Well, a lot of these wouldn't get used. This one could get used. I'm not sure what exactly, but it could get used.
yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good in a lot of like even if you're just playing like what's like a normal just Chinpa's not a great example, but like there are decks where just like any generic like Ice Rider or whatever, you just like say,
Hmm.
okay, well it's near the end of the game, but my Ice Rider is about to die. Okay, let's just put up the shield, and
Right.
now it won't. Or like it protects your V's. Like when you're scared of those like a lot of times this
Hmm.
isn't super common, but it's common enough. Your opponent like Luminion, boss KOs Luminion for game. Well, this
Right.
stops that.
Yeah, no,
Or
a lot
even
of
like
late game comes down to
Shock.
one-shotting that multi-price Pokemon, and can you pull it off? Like, do you need a boss, or does your opponent get boss and things like that to win game? And this kind of shuts that down. So
Mhm.
I like it. So, but what
It
was
can
it?
protect you in the early game as well. I think this is top of B.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking B probably. I was afraid you were going to say A tier, which I don't think it's
I was
there.
considering like low A, but I don't. It's not quite as. It's worse than those. So
Yeah, but it's definitely playable and playable in a variety of decks. So it could go to low B, depending how we view things. But
yeah.
I mean low
Uh,
A, but
yeah.
top of B
Um,
is good.
mhm. Next up, though, this one I also like another Cronzenith one. Regigigas V-Star. That's Star Guardian. If your opponent has exactly one prize remaining, you may choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, and they discard that and all attached cards.
Hmm.
So the idea here is you remove one of their bench. So they got two Pokemon that they need, like whatever, like two Pokemon that are crucial, or
Yeah,
one Pokemon, or they have two cops in play, and so they're protecting themselves. But now you get rid of their bench one, you can, and then you KO their active one, and you can essentially just win, and you're at the very end of the game. So I think this one's okay.
right. It's, I mean, it's kind of a gimmicky thing, I got to say though, too, right?
Yeah,
Because at that point, if you're only doing it if you have a bunch of prizes left, right? So you're behind in the game, and you do it to come back. Because otherwise, you just take the knockout, right? Do something a V Star power that
yeah,
takes the
uh-huh.
knockout.
I
Um,
think it's and maybe it's just top of C.
okay, I mean that's fair. I mean, because it's certainly not helping you set up and get going either. So I'd
Yeah,
usually want. There's a lot of cards I'd want before this. Is what I'd say,
yeah,
right?
this is pretty situational, but I think it can be very big in certain scenarios as well.
Okay.
Even bigger than just taking a KO. So,
Okay. So now we get to the first of the tools. We have the Sky Seal Stone.
yep.
So this, which is exactly, it's not like it. This is exactly what we're talking about. So star order ability during your turn, you may use this ability. If you're during this turn, if your opponent's active Pokemon Vstar or active Pokemon VMAX is knocked out from damage from an attack by your basic V, take one more prize. So it's specific. You have to be attacking with a basic V. And then it has to be a V Star or V Max. Obviously, there's a lot. EXs are more dominant now, so that does hurt this card. I would think, right? We got to take that into account.
Yeah, I think this one's probably I don't know where to put this one. I
And basic Vs
it's like
can't take out V Maxes for the most part, right?
yeah, they're like two shot them.
I mean, unless you have
Which you
like your
can do
Zacian
with them.
V in
Yeah, I
with
think like
Giratina powering it
Zacian
up, but that's kind of the one case that
Gardevoir.
in Gardevoir. Sorry, yeah, in Gardevoir. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably true. This one might not be very good.
But it's seen play,
Um,
so that means
well, it used to see play, but that's when V Stars and V Maxes were like almost every deck,
that's true.
which
I'm not.
they're definitely not right now.
Yeah. So
And funnily enough, they're gonna be if this was a thing, then they'd see almost no play because the V Star powers are like tools, so that you wouldn't necessarily play the V Stars. But anyway, that's like a funny, weird thing that would happen. But
so
I think this is probably somewhere in C.
I think C. Yeah, I was thinking C. Where does it go though? Maybe it might. Is it
Uh,
bottom C then?
yeah, I don't hate putting it in the bottom of C,
Okay.
just below
Below
Rotom.
Rotom. Yeah, Rotom's probably a little more helpful in general.
Yeah. Next up, we got Magnezone V-Star. Electro Star for 2 lightning. This is an attack. You
Yep.
do 90 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon, bench Pokemon specifically. I also forgot that this one only hit the bench.
Yeah.
But
Which
it's okay.
because I was thinking it was
Try.
better than Radiant Greninja because it's only two, but then once it can hit the active, it might actually be worse than Radiant Greninja's attack.
Yeah. It's different.
It is.
I'd honestly, I don't know how. I'd say this is also D. It's very similar to Zero. Well, it's actually no, it's okay during like the early game if your opponent can't set up like if they have their basics like against
Right.
Charizard or
Take out if you take out two
Excalibur deck.
comfies on the bench too, that can
Yeah,
slows them down.
yeah.
Um. So
I think this is probably I think this might be the top of C actually.
you think top
It's
of
not great,
C
but it's
right now?
mm-hmm.
Top of C is what's that guy?
Regigigas.
Regigigas, and what's he do again?
It's someone that discards the benched
Oh
Pokemon
yeah,
if
yeah.
they have one prize left.
Um. Yeah, it's probably okay. So top of C.
Yeah, it's an all right card, I think. It's
All right.
not great, not great.
Oh, I don't know if I can get it to top of C somehow. Oh, there we go. Sometimes it doesn't like to go in that spot.
Yeah, two make it can be kind of goofy. Next up we got another one that's pretty good in my another card that's good in my opinion, but three-star
Hmm.
power might not be the best. It is an attack, but it's also kind of an ability. It's an attack for 1 colorless until this Pokemon leaves play. It gains an ability that says your opponent's Pokemon V in play,
Hmm.
except oh wait, it says except oh huh. Well, it doesn't turn off itself. We'll just say.
Right, which is
Um,
good. Right, it is Aerodactyl
well,
V
no, but
Star. I think you didn't mention that.
yeah. So I want to say so it says it doesn't turn off Aerodactyl V Star. We'll just say it doesn't turn off itself. I think. Um,
Right.
I mean, it shouldn't turn off itself because it's like a V
Oh,
Star.
I
It's kind of
understand that. Yeah,
strange.
I mean that's the
Um,
intent of that is that that's the only V Pokemon ability V that happens.
yeah. I don't know if it would turn off. Oh, it's only your opponents. So, but yeah, it would turn off all of theirs.
Yeah,
Except it doesn't turn off the seal stone. I don't know.
yeah, but would
We
that
won't worry about that
matter?
too
Is
much.
that yeah? Let's not worry about that.
Yeah. So pretty much, it's like it
It's
turns
not
off like
that good. I gotta
Genesect,
say though.
Yeah, this isn't very good.
I mean, it
With
was
so many like EXs.
right. Well, it was really it was there to counter Lugia as a big play, right? Lugia V Star, because then if you got
Also
this
Mew. Some.
in Mewtwo, but now Mew is
No, just
countered.
Mew, not Mewtwo.
Haha. So to
I
counter
got you.
Genesect, of course, because it's not Mew at all, but the Mew deck.
Yeah.
But right, Genesect. But now Genesect is dealt with by
Spiritomb.
Spiritomb that shuts off basic Vs. So you still need this potentially for Lugia because that's an evolution. But even back in the day, you didn't play Aerodactyl a lot when it was shutting down Mew and Lugia. Because essentially, if you got
I
this
mean, I
off
did,
before
but
Lugia, if you pulled this off before Lugia could use its V-Star power, you could beat Lugia. That was one of the ways to do it. It didn't see a ton of play. That was my point.
yeah, I
And
think this
Lugia's
is
fallen
probably
off.
just it's probably like D. Yeah, I think it's top of D. I'd actually put it right below Zero Aura.
Okay, so second on D.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, it's yeah. Cause yeah, even
Uh,
when V's were dominant, it wasn't huge. It's obviously less now.
yeah. Next up, we have Drapion V's lesser known evolution, Drapion Vstar. This ability Hazard Star. It's an ability that makes your opponents active, paralyzed, and poisoned, and you do 3 damage counters instead of 1. Honestly, this isn't too bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, but it adds some extra damage, which is nice, and it allows you to paralyze and also if they're stuck there, it poisons.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this isn't bad. Like you could even use this
Right.
as just to buy a turn. Hopefully not necessarily, but you could.
Right.
I think
Right.
this is
Because the attack wasn't very good on Drapion V Star. I didn't love it. I gotta say.
yeah, no, it's not good.
Which in a sense made the V Star power worse because the attack
Yeah,
wasn't
and
good.
actually saw it play just for its V-Star power as well. But that's because you'd play Drapion. Like
Right.
in I think this saw play what set did this come out in?
Uh,
Um
what's
It
the
was
symbol?
yeah, Lost Origin. So
Yeah.
in Silver Tempest, Force Seal Stone came out.
Okay.
So before then, Urshifu would play Drapion, and then would also play the V Star because you didn't have another V Star power.
Okay.
I think it's okay. I think it's honestly, I think this is pretty good. I
Well,
think
and we have
it's
Jinx EX now. Is that the one that you're knocked out if
no,
you're?
that's sleep.
It's a
I'm
sleep
pretty
only. It's
sure.
not special conditions. It's a sleep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Okay. All
sleep.
right. Then it's sorry. I take that back.
So, but yeah, Drapion. Actually, let me double check. I wanna. I'm pretty sure it's
The Jinx.
yes, sleep. So,
Okay.
I think Drapion is honestly top of B.
Top of B. Top of B. Let's see.
The rest of the cards aren't that good.
What's Zacian do? I mean
That's
Zamazenta.
Zamazenta. It's the, like all your Pokemon take 100 less.
Yeah, it's better than
Um,
that.
and
Yeah,
the ones like a Snipe, Crass, they're not even that like good. I
I
think
can see
it's
it's top of B. Yeah, no, top of B.
yeah,
What I'm starting to see is most of these V Star powers aren't all that good. I
yeah.
gotta
I
say
thought they were gonna
because
be better than
so
this.
far it falls off fast and hard. So anyway,
Yeah.
that getting
Oh,
back to
next one though.
this
You
next
should know
one's
this one.
going. This
Well,
is
it's
gear.
interesting.
Well,
It's
it's very situational, right? So Giratina V Star. The card I predicted to win Worlds that somehow did not. But V Star Power, it's an attack, Star Requiem. It's Grass Psychic because it's a dragon type, so that's always a complication too, which is why it's in Lost Zone or Arceus. I don't know what else is going to play it still. You can use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. So it has to be in Lost Zone. Sorry, take that back. Lost Zone decks only because
yeah.
Arceus, they play Colorless Experiment potentially, but they're not getting 10. So then your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. So very good, of course.
Yeah, but
And
we saw other ones like we saw an instant KO one in Hisuian Typhlosion, which we put in C, which I'd say is easier to use as it's
what's that one?
directly
Well,
cheaper.
they're down to if they have 4 damage counters, right?
Yeah,
This is
which I'd say is easier than
well,
making
this
10
in
cards in Lost
Lost.
Zone.
Well, Lost Zone you'll get there if you're in a Lost Zone
Well,
deck.
yeah, in Lost Zone you will get there, but that's more limited.
Well, but think how good. But if Lost Zone box could play Giratina's V Star in it as an option,
it's a basic.
right, would be
But you
good.
need the grass energy. I think it's not awful.
It
I
would
could
make
see this
Lost
as
Zone box
top.
better, right? Having this
I'll barely though. Like you'd still probably play
because
the
of the
Giratina because it's first attacks. Like when you only have the V Star or only have the first attack, it loses a lot of its power. I think.
But if you had
So
Lost Zone box with obviously Kramer and Sableye and with like your lightning attacker and stuff, the problem is now we're getting a lot of energy types. But
yeah, I think
Lost
the
box doesn't mind that because Mirage Gate accelerates 2 different energies. It's an option, is what I'll
I think
say.
this could be top of C.
You think top
I think
is
it's
okay? Yeah,
I
no,
think it's
fair enough. It's
mhm,
not better than that. And
yeah.
if you want to drop it
Ooh,
down somewhere in C, I could accept an argument. It gets very hard to
mhm.
place.
Yeah, it's a
obviously.
very strange card, but Lost Stone's very good. So, um, next up, is Gudra. I assume Gudra V-Star. This
Oh
one,
yeah,
you like. This is actually really interesting. Its ability, it just lets you heal all your damage from this Pokemon.
right.
Um, it's
Wow.
very straightforward. It's pretty good.
What's it going to go on though? Right. That's the problem. It's only limited to
Yeah.
V's. Because imagine you could
Mm.
play it on a Charizard EX. That would be just tremendous, right?
Yeah, but I think on like most VMAX and V-Stars, they'd like this. I think this
Yeah.
is like Mew could play it, right?
Well, that would be
You
yeah.
you might not want to play it because Mew has ways of healing and it also wants to use like other things, but like
Hmm.
it could run this. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm sure this would open the door to other tankier VMAX and V-Stars as well. So
Yes. So this would
I
see
think, but
play.
obviously it's the best on Gudra, right? So
It is. Well, it would go on V maxes, right? That's the potential. I would
yeah,
think,
but
right?
even the VMAXs essentially have less HP. So
Oh, because of the effect of the attack,
yeah,
you're
like Gudra
saying.
just is so big. So I think
Yeah.
it's this is probably bottom of B, I think.
All right. It's B. I might see it higher than that,
Where
but
do you put it? You can be I could see it maybe one spot up, probably not more than that.
yeah, let's do one spot
Like
up.
so between soon Sidrai and soon Samurott.
Yeah.
Um Breaking up the boys. Next up, a Suin Zarg restart. This one's pretty. What's is this? Yeah. So okay, this is just research
What's
as an
the
ability. Um
okay?
which is good.
Yes.
I think this is
I mean, we have the one that you discard and draw. Well, we have the one you draw to 8, and we have the one you discard and replace. I think it's better than either of those.
yeah, I think this is probably the bottom A.
Bottom of A. Uh, is it good enough to be an A?
I think so. Although,
Maybe it
like,
is.
as opposed
Yeah.
to what, like poison and
No,
paralysis,
you're right.
the top would be. I
Could
think
it
it's
be?
like
Could it go the
pretty
middle of
good.
A? Is it better than?
Yeah, I could see it above Darkrai.
It's probably more useful than Darkrai in general, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
So middle of
Well,
A
I don't
between
know. Yeah,
Palkia and Darkrai, you think?
yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, they're both close, depending what you want,
Yeah.
obviously.
Okay. Next up is do you want to read it or should I read it?
You can read it. I don't have it up. So we
Okay.
have the
Yeah,
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo. Yeah, Mewtwo V Star. Star Raid, a really interesting one here. It's actually similar to Earth and Sealstone. But it's Star Raid. It does 120 for Psychic Colorless. Does 120 to each of your opponent's Pokemon V.
Mm-hmm.
V's aren't as played very much.
Right.
This isn't garbage. I think this is like okay. I think it's probably somewhere in. I was gonna say C. I'd say it's somewhere near the bottom end of. C. I'd say it's probably like the bottom of C or maybe the top of D.
Yeah. I mean, because
Actually, no, I'd probably put it like below. No, I'd say it's actually like middle of D. It's pretty not.
okay,
It's very specific, right?
right? Because even playing Lunatone Soul Rock with this, which of the starter decks is this is the close. It's the closest to the right deck list, I would say. Probably the worst of
Um.
them. You know, it's not a bad list, is what I'll say. But this V Star power was still not great in that deck, is what I'll say.
Yeah. So I'd
Eh,
say. Well, I don't think it has synergy with that deck either, though.
Yeah,
So like, it's not a spread deck at all. So
no,
it's like a big one-shotting deck. That's like the thing. So or kinda
right. I
one-shotting,
mean,
two-shotting.
the only time you wanted to use it was against Mew. That's what I'd say. Because then you finish off the Mew V Maxes one with easily after that. Um,
Uh, yeah, not like super easily, but
no.
um,
So you think D, mid D,
uh,
or now?
yeah, I think it could be a little high. I'd say where do you think it should be?
Try to see. I get confused with what does what. So like, what's Aerodactyl do?
Aerodactyl, that's the one that's like the turns off V abilities. I'd say it's above
Uh,
Aerodactyl. I'd say it's
okay.
between Zero and Aerodactyl.
Okay, that does 90 to. No, wait, what the zero or do?
No, that's no, you're getting
I was
confused
getting.
with
I know I
Magneton.
am. Yeah.
Zero is 60 to like 4, and then
Oh,
you can
that's
like
to four.
stack, but it's
Yeah,
a bunch of energy. Yeah.
right. But it's a very nice attack. But it's yeah, the energy cost is tough. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, we got one that I think is easier to rank, although it might be okay. It's not good on Dragonite V Star. But Draconic Star, it's one colorless. Look at the top 12 cards of your deck and attach any number of water or lightning energy cards you find there to your Pokemon any
Mm.
way you like. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I mean, it's certainly better than when it's not on Dragonite, right? It's not good on Dragonite Vstar,
Yeah.
but
It's your
and it can
attack,
be.
though, right?
Yeah, no,
If it
it's
was an
not.
ability, it's not. It's only
Good.
marginal as an ability, is what I'd say. Like, I could play it
I
as
think if it's an
ability.
ability, it'd be good.
I could play it in some
Um,
things. I still don't love it, but
I mean, it's almost as good as Palkia. Then like it's
yeah,
inconsistent, but
it's
it's
not
very
as good,
strong.
right? But I'd do Palkia
Um,
over this, say, in my Blastoise EX deck to power stuff up, let's
yeah,
say.
but if you want, like, if you have like an energy, like if you're playing like Ryan Flaffy, you definitely consider this.
You might,
Well, if it
but it's
was an
your
ability,
attack,
not as an
right?
attack. So I think this
It's
is.
not good as an attack.
Ooh, I'm tempted. Um, and it's not good. I don't
Is
want to
that
put
a,
in F,
you don't want to
but
F it? You don't want to fail it?
we can. I'd say
Sorry.
yeah, we can put in the top of F.
You can put it, you want bottom of D? It's low
Now let's
D
put
then.
in.
Top
Let's
of
put
F,
in.
above D,
Yeah,
above.
it's pretty bad. Like it looks really bad.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, okay,
maybe in these scenarios it could be okay, but you don't
right,
really. Like you're using up your V-Star power and you're not doing damage, and so yeah.
yeah. All right. So next we have Superior Vstar,
Yeah.
which is for one energy. It's an attack star winder. Does 60 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. Um, of course. So why is the attack cost only one when you don't want one? But whatever.
I mean, yeah, it's like
It's versatile, I
Whimsicott.
guess. So and then you switch it with one of your bench Pokemon, which right now I don't think that V Star Power works well with this, but maybe that would be better if we could put it on a different Pokemon, right?
Yeah,
With
I
a
think you
different
could.
attack. I'm trying to think now.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate this card. Or I don't hate this V-Star power. I'd say directly worse than Whimsicott. Hit and run's not that good, and you'd rather snipe, and its typing's not particularly good.
Right.
But I could definitely see it as the top card in C.
Okay. I mean, of course, grass isn't good.
Yeah, but you only need one. You only need one grass, right? Yeah, you can just put one grass on. So you can even do a luminous. I don't really
Oh, that's
think
true.
that'd
It's
be a
for
great
each
strategy.
energy. So,
Yeah.
and if you have a DTE, that counts as two.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So
I
top of
think it's
C.
not.
It's
Yeah, it's not
probably more.
great.
I might use it more than I guess Giratina as a V Star Power.
Yeah, superior V-Star, better than Giratina V-Star. You heard it here first.
Exactly. All right.
Uh,
One of my boys again, or girls, I don't know. So Alolan Vulpix
I
V
like this
Star.
one too.
So you want to read it then?
No, you got it. You got it.
All right. So this is for no energy, so you can't beat that. Silvery
Yeah.
Snowstar
I mean, it's
does.
an attack though, so it's still worse than an ability.
Yeah, and actually you play the card for the regular attack. But anyway, this
Yeah.
attack does 70 damage for each of your opponents. Pokemon V in play. It's not affected by weakness or resistance, but it doesn't hit through effect. So that's kind of a weird thing on the text. But anyway, it is the Mew killer, right? That's what you try to save it for. Although even then, you usually use Arceus' V Star power first, and then are sad. But that's kind of what you want it for, right? One shot the Mew V Max.
Yeah, but that's in that deck. I think it's pretty good though. Like,
I mean, how often?
um,
What other matchups do you actually want to use it in?
well, you don't use it because you use Arceus's, but
But how often do you want the V? What other besides
I mean,
hitting
it's
into a
free though.
V
It's really
Max?
not like if you're just. I mean, you can certainly hit like 120.
Yeah,
Or wait, what is it? How much? No, I don't. Is it was 70
it
times
does 70.
140? Which is not bad. You're talking about like I think Semi-Seer and like Entei decks hitting like 90 for one, which is which you have to reach for some. But this is free.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
hitting.
free, so you can attach energy elsewhere to set up, which has its value too, if
Yeah.
that's where you're at.
So I think it's nice as a panic button, and it's not great, but it's free. It's
Free
very
attacker
different.
that you have an option in any V deck you want to. So yeah,
Yeah, I
okay,
think this is
you're talking me
honestly I'd
into it. It's
say
moving up now. Is
um
it B then?
yeah, it's somewhere in B. I'd say it's probably between Gudra and Assumed Decidueye, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm
Not hate
not
that.
sure exactly.
It's not
So
like a broken
so it's
card, but
towards
it's
the
okay.
bottom end of B, lower below, right below. Oh no, above Gudra. Sorry,
Yeah, I think so.
between. Yeah, okay, that's good. Oh,
Oh, okay. We got an interesting one again. This one's not good. I'm just gonna say is for 3 colorless until this Pokemon lose play, it gains an ability like a Dactyl that the weakness of each of your opponent's Pokemon in play is now Psychic.
Right. And this is
Um,
unknown Vstar because
yeah,
just
this is
in
unknown
case you wonder.
Vstar. Um, and
Yeah.
I think I might replace the current wiki. I don't remember, but like it's 3 energy, and it's probably on like a basic. It's probably gonna die, and then it's not gonna matter. So this one's
Right.
pretty. I think this is also F.
Well, it's obviously all goes in a psychic deck. So obviously, like Gardevoir EX is like a deck that would want this, but they don't play this, right? So
Well, I mean, well, it's different as well, like because it's now you can put on like your Zacian, but like it's probably gonna die. Oh, and then you're like damaging yourself to power it up. Yeah, this seems bad.
well, but because like in the but you use the attack, and then you can take out your opponent's Pokemon with your single prizers after that very easily,
Yeah,
right?
but the idea is to like take him out of single prices anyway.
Right. So,
Um,
but I don't know what other deck would actually even
no, yeah,
want
I think this is
this.
bad. I
It
think this
has to
is
go in
really. I think this
Gardevoir, I
is.
think, to pay for it, and that doesn't use it now. So I just don't see it.
You could put it in UV Max. You could UV Max, and
That's
then
true.
you
You
double
could do
turbo,
that.
and then at least a sparkle. That's actually not bad. Oh, make sure you don't psychic leap though. That'd be bad. Because then it goes back into the deck, and then it loses the ability. But
Yeah. I
that'd
mean, the
be
problem
unfortunate.
is you're letting your opponent hit into you for free. But okay, so it's still not
Yeah,
good then, right? So is
yeah. I
it
think this is probably F. I think this
F?
is.
Okay. I mean, it could be a D, but
Is
you
this
want
the worst one? You don't think it's the worst one? Do you want to put top of F?
what's the bottom one? This is what Shaman?
Shaman. It's Shaman,
What's that one
Dialga,
do?
then Dragon.
What's Shaman
Which
do?
Shaman is the healing, like your bench grass
Oh,
Pokemon.
uh,
I mean, it's not good.
I
I'm,
maybe
I'm
put it above Shaman, between Shaman and Dialga.
okay. That's fair. Next up we got Mawile. Okay, this one's
All
interesting.
right, what's
You
this one do?
switch in the Pokemon's attached to from the bench to the active,
Mm-hmm.
um and then you gust up one of your opponent's Pokemon.
And you get to
So
choose, right?
yeah, so you choose to gust. You do have to switch it in the cards attached to,
Mm-hmm.
which
So it's
generally
like
isn't
Leafeon V
ideal.
Star, except you have to switch this Pokemon in,
Yeah,
right?
and so it's not quite Guzma because you have to switch this one.
Yeah.
Um, but I'd still say this is probably top of A. Like
It's worse than Leafeon, I'm
yeah, it's a
pretty sure,
little
right?
worse than Leafeon, but it's not that much worse than Leafeon. Are there
Well, you
any
have to
pivot
attack with this
Vs?
Pokemon. You
Well,
need
no,
a
I
V
mean
or
you
a
can
V with free
retreat.
retreat. Like you
Yeah,
put
I'm
on
trying to
your
think if there is anything
Mew V Max, baby.
like that. Yeah,
But
actually, you might. It's
well,
I think this is
yeah,
pretty good. Like
for Mew
it's
V Max, then you just attack
um
with it, obviously. And are there good pivot Vs? I'm
yeah,
not
I don't know.
trying to
Even if
think.
there aren't, like it's a free. I'd say I
Yeah.
could see you dropping below Palkia.
Okay.
I couldn't see you drop. Do you want to put it second in A?
Yeah, second and A is fine.
Okay. Next up, this one's interesting. You want to read it?
Yeah, so Regidrago, let me call it. I can get it quickly here, I do believe. So Regidrago V Star's ability, let's Legacy Star. During your turn, you may discard the top 7 cards of your deck, then put two cards from your discard pile into your hand. And those cards are not restricted to those 7 cards you discarded. So you can recover any 2 cards from the discard pile, including the 7 more you put in. So it's a very nice ability, I think.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
mean, for some things, it obviously works well with Regidrago,
It
but
doesn't even work amazingly in that because you don't choose what you discard,
no.
and you don't completely choose what you get. It's not
Well,
like you're
but
choosing from your whole deck.
it's an ability that works well, like in Regidrago, like if you're pairing it with Arceus, which is what I've done. A lot of times have to use Arceus's V Star power to get set up, but if you can avoid doing that, then you save this for later game. You want this last half
Yeah,
of
it
the
can
game
be
when your
good late
discard
game
pile's
because
big.
it can just allow you to recover 2 cards. You can actually
Right.
deck yourself out, which is obviously bad, but
Yeah.
it can be used to win the. I think
Like
it's directly in competition with Darkrai here, right? Because Darkrai gets 2 items.
it's
Um,
recovery is obviously better than Darkrai because it's 2 anything.
yeah.
Where's
It's just
Darkrai
a little.
again?
It's in bottom of A.
I think
So I
it's
guess it's
better than
better.
Darkrai.
Yeah, it might be better than like a free research as well. Is it? Yeah, it's better. I'd say
Yeah.
this could
Yeah,
be
because
top of A.
top better than
I'd put it
Palkia,
below. I'd
maybe.
put it below Palkia. I'd put it below Palkia actually.
Okay, I think that's fair enough. It's yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's good.
Ooh, this next one's kind of good. It's Lugia. Yeah, Lugia, where you put the two like colorless non-rule box Pokemon for your discard and
Mm-hmm.
pile into play. We can do this turn 1. So you can play a Lumineon to grab Burnett. Discard the 2,
Wow.
what's it called? The 2 Archeops. You
Archeops, and you
attach this.
can get them into play turn 1 and then use them turn 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
this
Well,
is, oh, this is very good.
is this gonna could this challenge Arceus? Because is that
Oh
busted?
yeah. That's kind of, I
We
mean,
just
it's
broke
kind
the
of us,
game.
but that's also like Palkia. It's kind of similar to Palkia. I think it's A. I think because Palkia can also like do big, because you don't actually have that great attacks turn 1. Certainly you have big damage turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You're getting 4 energy into play
yeah,
potential,
but
right?
like I'd say this is probably top of A, but I think it's actually
That's
no. I think it takes over Leafeon and drop Leafeon to A. But
You think it's better than
um,
Leafeon? Yeah,
I don't know.
probably.
I could,
They're very
yeah.
different, obviously, very different.
I'd say
Um,
it's a little better than Leafeon.
or do we
So
want the 3 in tier A? I mean S
S.
tier. I'm not sure.
I think two's good. I think it's Arceus and then Lugia and then we drop Leafeon.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
So
they're close. Lugia's like can be super busted.
I mean,
Um,
Lugia separated from its card. This one picks up the most probably of any card, I
yeah, like
think.
Lugia is bad. Like Lugia's attack isn't good.
I mean, it's not
It's
a
not
bad
the
attack,
worst. Well,
but
it's kind of bad. It's not great. It's
it's
220
multi-prizer.
for 4, so like it's not particularly good. It's not
Yeah.
awful, but it's not
Once you have
great.
Archeops, you have better options, probably.
Yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
okay, next. Oh, we got. You want to read this one?
So wait, oh, this is one of the stones. Which one's this
I
one?
got it. I got it. It's Earth and Shellstone.
Yeah, I don't remember this one.
Star Gravity. It's the attack one. 3 colors. Put damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon V until they all have remaining HP of 100.
Okay.
Um,
The one Pokemon just hit the bench, right? Or did it do all? That was
huh?
the what was the
Mewtwo Vstar.
Mewtwo? Yeah, what did that do?
Was that only bet? It was 120 to each of their Vs. I don't remember if it
120
hit
to
the
each. Yeah. No,
active.
it hits the active too. So this one
It
puts
does.
them to
Okay.
100. So can be better
I'd say
against
this
V
one's
maxes.
yeah. I'd say this one's better than Mewtwo. It's also colorless. It's 3, but I think it's better.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like
And DTE
top of
doesn't hurt
D.
it. Top of D.
Yeah, I'd say it's top of D. I still don't think it's like particularly good.
No, in part
Actually, no.
because
I'd literally actually no. I'd just put it right above Mewtwo, but um,
right
I
above
think
Mewtwo.
it's
So second and D.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
I
mean,
think they're like pretty much the same thing.
yeah. And the fact that the V's are dropping off obviously hurts it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, next up.
Sky
This
Seal
one you should
Stone.
no Forest Seal
Forest
Stone.
Seal Stone, sorry. So Star Alchemy. Yeah, you've played this a ton, probably everybody. During your turn, you search your deck for any one card, put it into your hand, which is super good
Mhm,
right now. But now that we
it
can
is.
do 2 instead of 1, it's garbage. But
It's F tier. No,
it
I
could be
don't
the
think it's F
bottom of
tier. I
F.
think it's
But if we compare it, but we're not doing that. So,
I think that's kind of silly. So
all right. So like Darkrai gets what 2 items back. It's better than
yeah, I'd
that.
probably rather have it
Or
is.
well, it's close,
I
right?
say it's similar. I'd say we can put it at the bottom of A.
Okay. I mean, it could be
I
top
don't
of
hate it,
B,
especially because yeah, I think
bottom
bottom of
of
A is
A. You
fine. I think
think?
it's a good card.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't ever play this card, obviously, but it's like it's
Right.
strong.
Yeah, if we didn't have Arceus's thing, then yeah, you'd play it in some decks for sure.
Yeah. Well, you do.
You do now.
Wait, instead of if you
If
had
with
all
our
the other ones
format,
except for
yeah,
Arceus.
I think right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Um. mhm.
All right, so this
Ooh, Glaceon.
what's
It
he
does was
do?
220 for
Yep,
3, water colorless, and then you're invincible, including effects.
right, which is good.
So, yeah, obviously you can get gust around and stuff. I think this is probably bottom of B,
I'm trying to think what would
somewhere around
play this,
there.
right? I mean,
Yeah, I think like water decks could play it. Although you play Palkia, but like,
well,
water
you'd
decks could play
probably
this.
include this tool as well if you didn't need to use Palk yet. You'd like this, obviously.
Yeah. I think it's yeah, you could boost it up. I could put it right below Lone Vulpix.
Wait, so which tier are we at here?
B.
B. Where little Vulpix is?
It should be in the
Oh,
middle of
B.
B,
Hang
like
on.
above Gudra, below
Oh, I see.
Decidueye.
Okay. Yeah. Between Decidueye and Vulpix.
You want to put above Vulpix? Okay.
Oh, you want it below Oh, between
Yeah.
Vulpix and Gudra, you want it?
Yeah, but you don't like
No,
Vulpix.
that's
I'm fine with
fine. No, that's fine.
okay
We'll put it.
between
Yeah.
Vulpix and Gudra. I
Okay.
think it's a nice tool, but kind of situational. Ooh, Lucario, interesting one here. I don't remember this one super.
All
Oh,
right.
it
This is
does. Okay.
Aura Star, 70 damage for fighting colorless, and it does 70 for each energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. So it beat
Yeah, I remember this one
it beats
now.
up on decks that want to flood the board with energy. So you know what you can do now with this, since it's a fighting one, you can one shot them right on EX with your fighting Pokemon because they like lots of energy.
Yeah,
Oh,
or RTS as well,
yeah,
which
all
no
the
one's
things that
playing
are
because it's
fighting
bad
weak.
anyway.
So
No, it's okay
hmm.
against. I mean, it's you can one shot the Gardevoir with like 20 HP.
Well,
Can do
of
like
course,
you
that
can do
has like
like
only 20
10,000
health left
damage.
at that point on it, right? After all
Yeah.
those energies, it has its
This is
uses, but it's limited, right? It's not
yeah.
as
Like
good as
I'm
it
trying to
sounds when you dig
think.
into it.
I think this is somewhere in C. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
for a deck that would play this, maybe it goes into like Lost Box again, but that's
Yeah, I think
another.
Urshifu could play it. I think it's not like bad. I think it's
Hmm.
a very solid mid-range, overall mediocre Vstar power that allows you to
Yeah,
do some more damage, and
yeah, an
it's okay.
Urshifu deck with or Metacham obviously could use it too, something like that with
Yep,
the fighting. So where'd you say? B,
somewhere in C,
C,
I think it
like
could high C.
Superior
Um,
V Star is a attack and retreat. Is that what it is? Or
yes, yeah.
so is it
I think
worse than
it's
that? Better than that?
I think it's better than that. I think top of C is fair.
Okay, that's fine.
Next up we got Cleaver. Okay, Cleaver is the one I was thinking of. Cleaver is pretty good. Let me pull it up. I forgot where it
You
is.
got it.
There we go. Found it.
Otherwise, okay.
Yeah. Or do you? Yeah, you can say it.
Sure. Rampaging Star for one fighting does 30 damage for each Pokemon in your discard pile. So, um, and it's
Like
any.
Semi-Seer.
I don't. Okay. I've been playing some of the was it the Grievard decks? So and it compare with that. You just need the fighting energy. It doesn't have to be psychic type. So there we go. Right.
Yeah.
30 or in your Wormadam deck. Right.
Yeah, and it says this has a good multiplier. Normally, cards like this have a 10 or 20. This
Right.
card's actually seen play.
Has it?
Very little play, but some in
Okay.
Zoroark for some reason. But yeah, it does seem play in that. So it's his first attack's actually not bad either, but
Mm-hmm.
that's not obviously not what we're worried about. So this is all right. Yeah, you're probably not one-shotting again.
Mm-hmm. Are there
It's
is there a good fighting V Pokemon that this works into, right? Because now we don't need to have the cleaver
it's
anymore.
okay on Urshifu, but not
Yeah, it doesn't play
amazing
a
on
ton. You don't
that.
playing it. You're not filling a lot of Pokemon in your discard pile. Um, it's not bad. Is it a C? Is it a D?
Yeah, so I think I'm comparing it to Semisear, which is energies. It's fire type, but
And
it's for each
where's that
energy.
one?
That's in C. That's a fire
The
type.
fire. Okay, it's kind of fourth from the
Um,
bottom.
yeah. So do you think it's better or worse than that?
Semi-Seer does what for energies in your discard pile? And
Yeah,
what's the multiplier on that one?
it's 30 again.
I think Semi-Seer is probably better than it, right? Because you're
Yeah.
going to have more energy
I'd
usually
say
than Pokemon, right?
yeah. I think the typing's a little worse. I'd say put it right below Semisear.
Okay,
Actually, no, I'd put it above because I think its
above.
typing's better.
Okay, you have
It's
better
it's
options for fighting too,
yeah,
so that it probably gets more value in those decks. Okay.
yeah. And lastly, Deoxys. This is another one of those like generic psychic ones. Star Force. It does 60 for each energy attached to both active.
Hmm.
Um, I'd rather play Whimsicott because that snipes. This
Yeah,
isn't garbage. I think this is probably bottom of B, something
you
like
think?
that.
When are you going to play it?
Well, in like Gardevoir and Lost Zone, it gets to one shots pretty easily.
Well,
Um,
but then wouldn't you just rather do Zacian V or something? Why do you want
well,
this?
well, well, Josh, you need like lots of energy. This you only need
So
like
you don't need
3
as
or 4.
much. So bottom
Yeah,
of B. All right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we've gone a little long here. You're right that we did
Yes,
take up.
I
I should have
told you
known that we tend to go long in this, but
right.
uh, I think that's all there is to say about it. Okay, this is obviously not necessarily a useful thing. Um,
Well, because you can't actually
but
play the game this way.
yeah, but it's a thing. I think it's an interesting thought experiment, and
Yeah.
yeah, tell us what you think of this style of video, though. This is kind of going back to your old school. Like we did a tier list before together, and it took a
Right.
while, but it was kind of interesting back and forth talking.
Yeah.
So tell us what you think of this style of video. And of course, if you enjoyed, subscribe to both of our channels, like the video, comment, do all that good stuff,
Yep.
and give us any suggestions as well. Anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, well, just if you like tier lists in general, let us know. And if you like things that are a what if scenarios, let us know. Or if you just like tier lists but not what ifs, let us know about that too, because it's those two things combined here. We don't have to combine them together in the future.
Yep. See ya.
Take care.